What made you decide to pursue your graduate studies in the United States?
I'm a little bit different from a lot of other students. I have 4 years of work experience and I was enjoying my work. There was no need for me doing higher studies, but just that I got bored with my work and I had a choice to either go for higher studies or switch jobs. And I think I took the right decision, because if I wouldn't have done that time, I would have never done higher studies. So I wanted to always do engineering. I was technically oriented always. My work was always related to what I had studied in my undergrad, so computer science was the way to go, and that's how I decided on doing my engineering.
How you shortlisted the schools?
Well, I think you wouldn't take me as a perfect role model. I was very disoriented, and so I was, like most of the students, they do it in fall, and I did it in spring. The intake is very less. The percentage of colleges that actually offer spring admission is very, very, very small, and I just took the chance. I just wanted to just get out and go for higher studies immediately. So I applied to around 7 colleges. Cornell was like most of the counselors, that what they say is you have to have some ambitious colleges, some realistic colleges, and then some sure shot colleges. I didn't go to any counselors. I had a lot of friends who had gone for higher studies, so they were like the perfect guides for me. And so I gave them a list of 15 colleges and told them these are my list of colleges I have. All of them had their opinions. I created an Excel. Everyone gave their opinions, gave their rankings, which is good for computer science, and basically shortlisted 7 colleges. Cornell was kind of ambitious, and there were other colleges. I was lucky enough I got admits from everyone, all 7 of them. The way I listed colleges, shortlisted colleges, was I was interested in computer science. I looked at colleges. I went to US News, looked at computer science ratings, went to individual colleges, looked at their research going on in that department, tried to contact some students. Students were very helpful. The websites had the names. I just contacted them directly, asked them about the programs that was going on. And Cornell had like the best professors whose books I was studying in undergrad. It was like a dream come true to come and get admitted for Cornell.
Talk a little bit about the application process, in particular, something that concerns international students, Indian students, the statement of purpose.
Most of the students who are going for engineering, statement of purpose is very, very underrated. They don't give much attention to it. It's just an essay they write. But I guess what I realized during the interview process, the way I was applying, was statement of purpose does hold a lot of value, because GRE score, everyone gets a decent GRE score. If you're applying to Cornell, you're supposed to be a little smart. Everyone gets a decent score, let's be honest. TOEFL scores doesn't make much difference. If you've done undergrad in India, you can speak a bit of English. Everyone gets 100. It's not a big deal. So statement of purpose is the only defining factor that actually gets you an admission or doesn't get you an admission. So I didn't go to any counselors, like I said before, but I had my statement of purpose at least reevaluated by 5 people, 5 students who had been there. I had my family members who had done this, who were pretty good with editing. I gave them that, took their advices, reevaluated my statement of purpose, put in things which I thought would make a difference to. So the statement of purpose, like the name says, it's for a purpose. It's why you want to do your master's, why the college would benefit having you in your college. So you have to look at what is the research work that is going on, make a special note on the research work and why you're interested in the research work. That makes a lot of difference. And I think what tilted admission in my favor was I had a work experience, and that counted for a little bit as well.
I just want to talk a little bit more about the SOP. You mentioned that one of the values of yourself that you're trying to impart to the college is what you're going to bring, your uniqueness. What did you talk about besides your work experience, specifically to make them know that you're more than just good numbers, raw scores?
I was working for a software company in India, and I had work experience in the United States before that. I came to the States for 3 months twice. So I worked in the States, and I got letters of recommendations from people who were working in the States for my company. So it was a multinational company. So I think that made a difference. The director, the head of operations in the US had good words to say about me. So, and the kind of work that I did was very much aligned with the kind of research work that was going on in the university. So that helped me get to know the professor. I had a one-to-one with the professor. We were on Skype chats a couple of times, and that was really advantageous in my
So you focused on your statement of purpose very much on the research work that you were doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
The statement of purpose had exactly what I was doing, what the university was doing, and where our thoughts aligned, and that's why I really wanted to join Cornell. And, yeah.
That's interesting what you said, and I want to explore it a little bit further. Not only what you were doing, but you had taken the time to research Cornell's, where their research was going, so that showed initiative and showed that you had a specific interest in Cornell.
Yes.
Do you think that had value?
Exactly, I think it has a value. So what people do I have seen a lot of statement of purposes, what they generally do is, the core of the statement of purpose remains the same. So the first paragraph is about you, the last paragraph about you and Cornell aligning. So what I did was, mine was also in a pretty similar skeleton, but I did a lot of research on Cornell especially. So there were a lot of professors I was interested in working with, and I just a couple of them, I just pointed their names out and wrote something about them and why I was interested in working especially for them, and why our research interests did match. So that I think helped a lot. I think the bottom line is do your homework for the kind of university you're looking for. At least for the university you really want to go for, at least do for that much.
What are the costs about for your course of study, including tuition?
Cost is a factor, and especially if you're going to Cornell, it is a pretty expensive college. But thing is, I'm doing a master's in engineering, so it's a one-year program. Mm-hmm. So that way, it's okay. You just have 2 semesters of tuition fees, so that is little advantageous. And the one thing that I benefited was I joined in spring, so I got the summer. I interned in the summer. I went to California. My living expense was taken care of by my internship, so that helped me a lot. You do have an opportunity to do your research, RAs and TAs, but especially for an MH program, they don't want you to do that because the thing is that you do the same number of credits that a normal other colleges will do in an MS, which is a 1.5-year course. So you do the same number of credits in 1 year. So that you don't have that much of time to spare for TAs and RAs, and plus you don't make that much of money that it has a lot of impact on your cost of living. I think 44,000 is the tuition fees in Cornell, and let's say 15,000 would be your living expense. You get an advantage that you finish early, you get to work early.
Your experience is that the research assistant and teaching assistant positions that students sometimes use to supplement their incomes is not a huge factor, or it is a good factor.
It is a factor if you're doing an MS, and for other branches in Cornell, I have friends who are in other branches. They really looked out for these opportunities, and they got it. It wasn't that difficult. You get opportunities like that. But for an MH program, it's not. I don't think so. It's beneficial because you anyhow have to do 30 credits in 2 semesters, which means 15 on an average, 15 a semester, and you don't have that much of time. 50 credits is pretty tough. And plus, the first time you're coming the first semester in Cornell, you take a bit of time to understand how the courses are, how it's oriented, things like that. I won't advise people doing it.
Just based on your experience, the percentage of international students you know that actually do research assistants or teaching assistants?
At least for the MH program in computer science, I think the number would be 1% or 2%.
Oh, okay.
But in other departments, there are a lot of people do it. I think it'd be around 60-70%. A lot of them do it. They do part-time works in campus. Not necessarily in a TA or an RA, you can just go in a library and help them out, or go to an international office and help them out.
Do you see any value that an outside consultancy could help in terms of helping a student?
I think the best advice that I can give on that would be, it would be really helpful if some students who have actually gone through the process, through the grind, and who are right now doing their engineering in colleges in the US, give advices. I think that would be really beneficial, because once you hear from the horse's mouth, you don't need anything else after that. So I think the people who've actually gone through the grind, they actually know, and I think that's the best advice you can get from anyone.
Do you have any final thoughts or advice that you would give to students looking to pursue study in the United States?
Yeah, my final advice would be dream big, be realistic, do your research, be sure what you want to do in life. Make sure that your statement of purpose reflect that. Make sure it shows that you're really desperate to get into that college, get good recommendation letters that add value to your application, because the whole package is what the university sees. Your statement of purpose, your letters of recommendations are your face to the university, because the universities don't know you, so that's your face. So be honest with them and do your hard work and research.